we have a haul, but we also need to read the books in this haul. So first of all, I'm going to show you all the new books that I got, and then we will obviously get to reading them. This last weekend, we actually went dress shopping for my bestie McKenna's wedding. However, we ended up in Frisco. Frisco has such an elite Barnes & Noble. A lot of authors, when they do their book tours, they will end up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then they will end up going to this specific Frisco Barnes & Noble. We just so happened to be there, and of course I had to have a haul. Mostly I just walked in and I kept saying like, ooh, there's a new book, ooh, that's a new book, ooh, that's a new book. Ooh, and I also have $20 in rewards that I keep not using. So we managed to have a haul. All of these books were under $92. How that happened, I do not know. However, I started chatting with the cashier. So Melanie, you're definitely not watching this, but I definitely appreciate you, because she went through all of the books as I was checking out. And she's like, ooh, I really like this one. Ooh, I really like this one. And then she started saying things like, I think I'd read this one first. And then I'd read this one. And then she was so kind and she put all of the books into the bag in the order that I should read them. So my goal for the next little bit here is to obviously read the books that I just bought, but specifically to read them in the order that Bestie Melanie put it together in S4. So starting off number 1, we have Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I'm so excited about this book. However, caveat here, I'm gonna eyeball read this, okay? I do think that this book as an eyeball read for me is just going to be the absolute perfect eyeball read. Like, I need to read this with my eyes and not listen to it. I don't even really want to read this on my Kindle, but like also I have the physical book and this is not on KU, so I just feel like this is going to be such a good physical read. This has been described to me by Bestie Melanie as small town, like with ghosts and stuff, but it's more like small town with like cigarette butts and like kind of the other side of the small town, and not the cutesy cowboy romance small town. So I'm really curious to see how that translates in Lila Sage's writing from cowboy romance into this situation. I just want more info. And then I also managed to get a copy of In the Veins of the Drowning by Callie Cassidy. This book is the Who Did This To You book club pick for October and November. A certain number of months. But again, Melanie started talking about this book and she said that this is more dark, spooky, gothic sirens and less like summery piratey mermaids. And then I finally got a copy of Quicksilver. I need to do a Quicksilver reread. I don't think that'll happen in this vlog. However, I did finally get the deluxe edition, which I know people hate it, but what I'm gonna hate more is that if I don't have the matching book 1. But like low-key, I do think it's kind of pretty, but the character art in this edition I do think is fun. And also I'm just a collector. I'm sorry, one thing I'm gonna do even if I don't like the cover is I'm gonna buy the book when it's been trad released in the matching. It's gonna match. Okay, that's it's gonna match. Okay, that's all. And then the last 2 books that I have here, we have Princess of Blood. I did just read Servant of Earth. I am so excited to read this book. Somebody left a comment on my last video talking all about how they reread Servant of Earth and wanted to also reread Princess of Blood, and I'm like, okay. And then what's technically not a new release, but something that has been on my TBR, and I've been trying to resist the urge to buy a physical copy until I actually read it, and then I lost the urge. I lost to the urge. But this is a signed edition, so you win some, you lose some. This is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. I don't know that I'm gonna read this immediately because it's not like a new release, and they're all also, I'm currently filming this on October 9th, and there are also a lot of 10/7 releases that I'm really excited about that I might read over this one, like The Ascendant. Anyways, we have a little bit of a TBR and a haul for the next who knows how long. However, I did also just open my front door to a surprise Mariana Zapata book. First of all, whenever you order from her signed author shops, she has the most Gorgina bubble mailers. I swear to all that is good. Obviously the book inside is good, but like I'm not 100% certain what this book is, but I have a theory that it is. Watch, I'm gonna say this and it's not going to be it. Oh no, it's it. Okay, I pre-ordered her special pretty edition of the Things We Don't Open. Oh my Lanta. I love books. I love books so much. The Things We Water. I feel like on camera this looks like, yeah, it's just a book. In person, love. I ended up giving this book a 4-star. I thought it was fun and I thought it was just like silly goofy, but it wasn't just like my absolute next most favorite Mariana Zapata books. And I also know that a lot of people who aren't like big Mariana Zapata fans would also probably think that this book is really weird and not love it like at all. Because I'm such a big Mariana Zapata fan, I also really love werewolves. This book was just like it was made for me to just be pure escapism, silly goofiness. Again, I think so many people will hate this book, so I don't even hardly want to talk about it ever, but like I loved her. The more that time goes on, the more that I actually do kind of think about it a lot. So we have the things we bought her, and I finally have a physical copy, and I am jazzed to own that. However, as far as the books that I am going to actually be reading this week, it is currently Thursday evening. We this weekend are going on a little bit of a road trip. We are going to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. My sister and I went last year for the first time and had the absolute most fun. We turned it into a little bit of a 4-day weekend, and we went to Albuquerque, and then we drove up and stayed the night in Taos, and we just kind of laid around. We walked outside. The weather was really nice. We went to the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge and also the Balloon Fiesta, obviously. And then we did a little baby hike, and we just like had some KFC in the hotel courtyard, and we just had a chill, really relaxing, do whatever the heck we wanted to weekend. But the most fun that I had, because it was October, the leaves are starting to turn, Carson National Forest, we actually drove around the forest and listened to Noah Kahan and Sam Hozier and just had the most immaculate time. Wow, you have a halo. Huh? You have a halo. But unfortunately, my sister is busy this year, but this is the last weekend of the Balloon Festival, and I conned my mom into going, and I also am gonna get my Grammy to come with us. So we're just gonna have a little girls weekend, and I'm so excited. I'm such a cold weather mountains person that this is the most, it's just perfect, and I honestly just want a weekend to lay around not in my house, like to be traveling and not at my house, but like also to lay around and not really have an itinerary and just kind of go where the wind takes us and read whatever the wind demands that we read. So I do think that I will be bringing Soul Searching along with me, and then I will also bring my Kindle. I don't typically travel with physical books, but like obviously I have to eyeball read this. So I will be bringing this, and then I also will be bringing my Kindle. I might read literally nothing this weekend. You might just see a whole bunch of B-roll until I finally give you a reading update at some point in this vlog. However, we are going to be reading some new releases, okay? Earlier this year in May was so freaking good to us in terms of new releases, and I managed to read basically none of them. So when it comes to season 2 of new release season for the year, I am putting my foot down, and I'm actually gonna be good about actually reading these releases, especially because I do now own so many of them physically. So I'm excited. I'm actually so excited. I'm so excited. We're going to really cool places. We're gonna read some really fun, new, fresh, exciting books, and we're just gonna have a really good time. So welcome to the vlog. So it's currently about 5:40. I actually got off work on time today for the first time in eons, and I've got about 30 minutes or so before I need to leave for rehearsal. So low key, I might actually start a couple pages of this, find something to eat, go to rehearsal, and probably not read much else tonight, but at least I will have started it. Also, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition has, I don't think you can really see that at all, but it's just like a cute little mountain scape. Anyways, welcome to the vlog. Nosy. Bye, Nosy. I need to track down a real bookmark and not just the scraps of Mariana's packing paper. But you know, it'll bluff. I made it a whole hot 6 pages before I decided I really am really hungry. So we're putting a pause on this 2 seconds in. Let's get ready for rehearsal, I guess. a video. Wait.
You don't like my cookie?
Absolutely not. I'm so sorry. Make sure there's no ID in there. You can have that, just, you know, no license or anything.
I can't see my eyeballs. Hang on.
They actually have what I made Dad's blanket in. This is what I made Dad's blanket in. Jerry's was similar to this, but it was speckledy white. And obviously no green for you. Oh, it's pretty. I like that a lot. Hello friends, so we have successfully made it back from the balloon fiesta, and while it did rain and the balloons did not actually ascend, they were still really pretty and I had a really good time. However, we have to spend a little bit of time before we go to our next location, and naturally my two suggestions were Michael's and Barnes, and specifically bookstore. I neglected to bring yarn on the trip because I just figured that I would be driving a little bit more, but my mom's actually been driving more and I just needed a yarn fidget project, and I'm gonna make Grammy a Christmas blanket before I ever finish my own blanket. That is my own toxic trait that I had to deal with at a different time. However, we had kind of accidentally made it to Barnes, and now we're here and I'm having a really good time because this Barnes & Noble is huge. I have never been to such a big Barnes & Noble. I've been to many Barnes. I've never been to such a big one. And this one's so pretty. And I know that I just said that I wasn't going to do any damage, but I keep thinking about, because I just read Hot for Slayer. So I am going to be good and only get this book, but like, I'm going to be good at being bad. The new uprooted cover is screaming at me to need it immediately. Also, we have the trad pubbed Book of Azrael. I am admittedly a little confused because I feel like this is quite actually the only fantasy shelf in here. This one right here. Am I just lost? I'm probably lost. I'm almost definitely lost, but I'm okay with that. Thief of Night. Benefit to being in a Barnes & Noble, that's not my home Barnes & Noble. Whenever people are looking at me weird, I never see them again. However, Book of Night, I didn't just love it, but like I liked it enough to really still be interested in Thief of Night, but like also it did not get very good reviews. So I'm kind of conflicted. Anyways, we are definitely getting made by Allie Hazelwood. Like, we had to. The purple is... I love her, Your Honor. So add another new haul to the list. I think I'm still going to keep holding off on Alchemized. I think I'm going to be good. I mean, while I'm being bad, but I'm going to be good at being bad. Okay, also, every time I see the independently bound Emperor's Soul
I scream a little inside because I freaking love this novella. Like, it is so good. And I only have it in the Arcanum Unbounded, and I've not read literally anything in that, but I just see this and I'm like, rehearsal. Easiest 5-star I've ever given. Ever, probably. But also, especially to a novella specifically, you should read it. Also, I'm literally so sorry. I am in my absolute best era at the moment. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Illustrated Catching Fire? What? I don't think there's anything upstairs that I just like absolutely need, but like obviously I have to go upstairs because come on. Just look at it. I love it here. This is the most magical place I've ever been. Have you ever seen such a beautiful sight? Okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop. Okay, so as I was walking by the Twilight section of fangirling, as I do, apparently they're doing like a midnight party, or I don't know if it's midnight, I guess later this afternoon, party. And I'm like, how long can we stay here? I mean, we're not going to, but like, could have been fun. Just throwing that out there. But like also where we're going is really fun, so I can't be too mad about it. But how fun! We're having a Twilight party in store. What a time to be alive! What in tarnation is this? I need it. I need it all. This is what I was looking for. She says the most creepy voice possible, as if there are not other people in the store at the current location in this moment in time. Amazing. What if I just like accidentally got her also? But what if I was good? But like, what if I wasn't? Alchemy of Secrets, I did in fact pre-order it. It is currently sitting at my home waiting for me to unbox the signed edition, and I really hope I like it. I'm kind of nervous about it, but like, hee hee. Not this accidentally turning into a Barnes & Noble shopping vlog. I feel like I tend to not do them as often, but I'm here. I'm really here right now, and I'm here. Okay, in comparison, this shelf all the way over to here is romance. Where's the fantasy? It was literally only that shelf. Like, am I just completely missing it? Which it could be. I don't know. But I only saw the one shelf. I don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, also not to mention, this whole back row is romance. Have we heard things about this? I could use my next cowboy romance series. Could that be it? Could that be her? Is she the one? I mean, not today, because again, I'm gonna be good, but like, somebody just walked by with making a comment about being a YouTube vlogger, and I was like, I'm living my best life. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know who you're trying to talk down to, but it ain't me. I'm having so much fun. Update, I found the rest of the fantasy. As if it was not literally right around the corner. You can do it just to like have a silly time. Man, look at the mountain. Look at the mountain. Sorry folks, the mic is dead, so the audio is going to be absolute trash for a little bit, but hello, good morning. We woke up this morning and went to the little espresso bar thing that our hotel has, which we stayed at the Taos Valley Lodge. So cute. And then we went to World Coffee Cup, which is my favorite coffee shop that I travel to, but like also in Taos. But I got the Miel latte, which is like honey, and it is so freaking good. Love her. Anyways, I managed to scuff the corner of my book. I'm really sad about that. I managed to get to a big fat 16 pages in, and I'm really enjoying this so far. Like, we've got a lot of funny banter. We've got a character. The characters just seem to have really good chemistry already, and they just like have met initially, and I'm just curious to see where this is gonna go. So our plan for the rest of the evening here, I was like, I have to have some reading time. Please give me some reading time. I beg of you to please give me some reading time, mostly because Mom and Grammy just want to go nap in the hotel, and I was like, great, cool, thank you so much. So we're currently stopped at McDonald's to go take a little restroom break. We're going to go to Red River. We're gonna have some lunch. We're gonna go drive around the mountains, have a very aesthetic little trip. However, so far this book as a vacation road trip read in the mountains when it's been foggy, misty, rainy has been such a vibe. It has been so scenic in a way, and I think that this is just giving fall in a really like fun way, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's not so far like dark gothic spooky. It gives more like road trip in the mountains kind of spooky, because she's quite literally road tripping from her where she's been living to her hometown. She's returning home to basically with her tail between her legs because she ran out of money, low-key, and now she's there. So this is really vibey, and I'm glad that I'm reading this at this time. Like, this is just the perfect book to be reading right now. So thank you, Melanie, for recommending this book, even though I literally was already buying it whenever I came to you and I told you that I was already buying it. So thank you for liking it. That's all. Anyways, I'm going to road trip. I did also we have managed to make it a certain amount, wherever it is, through Grammy's blanket. This yarn is just the Bernat. It's the patchwork yarn. So far, it's really fun, but I managed to do this in like 45 minutes, maybe. This yarn goes really fast. Also, it's way softer than regular Bernat yarn. So if you're looking for a fall crochet project, might I recommend a blanket, but might I recommend the Bernat patchwork yarn in literally any color, because it's self-striping. So I don't have to do any work to get it to do this, and it just looks really, I'm into it. I think once this is a big blanket, it's gonna be really cute. Anyways, oh, also, sorry, one more thing before I quit yapping. And this vlog is really turning out to be not much reading at all, and just yapping, which is great, cool, whatever. I forget which hook this is. I'll put the name on the screen here. I'm usually a clover hook girly, okay? Michaels did not have clover hooks, they had these. I feared that this is my new favorite crochet hook, which means that all the other crochet hooks that I have, anytime that I have to use the other ones that are not this one, until I apparently, I don't think I should replace all my hooks, but I'm gonna want to, because this one is just a lot of fun to use, just because the base of it is bigger, so it just fits in your hand a little bit better, and it's a little bit pointier on the hook end. Anyways, that's all. So I'm like shuffling over here. So as I'm shuffling over here. Let me move. That's why I said get out of the way.
so fun. All the children love them. The leaf peeking out from the bottom of the windshield is what's cracking me up. Hello friends, we have made it back to the home front. I cannot even begin to express to you how wonderful this weekend was. Like the kind of travel that you have where you're in just a really like absolutely beautiful place and there's no itinerary and you just kind of like lay around and hang out with family and just like go get some coffee and just lay around and just do literally whatever the heck you want. Was incredible. I'm feeling this morning very sleepy. So we are halfway done with an Alani. I wanted to give you an update on soul searching. I'm currently 174 pages in, which is roughly about halfway. It's like 2 pages shy of halfway if you wanted to get really particular. However, there is something about this book, and I genuinely think that this might be my favorite Lila Sage. I feel so seen by a lot of the parts in this book, and I think that I don't really consider Collins our female main character. She's not really a self-insert character for me. Like, I don't relate to a lot of the things that she is going through necessarily, but there are really specific pieces about her that I really connect to, and I also think that there are so many lines, and the way that this is just written is really neat. Like, we talk about, we've got this little ghost town, right? And Collins right now is going through a lot of things, in particular with her mental health. Like, she just feels really disconnected from everything. She feels like she's going home to a place where she was never really like at home, but at the same time, she doesn't want to really be anywhere else. And everything else is kind of like, it served its purpose for her, and she's kind of like, well, what's next? I don't really know. I feel like I just want to crawl into a hole and like not move. And just like, she is so deep into a really dark place at the moment. And there are a lot of notes about that I do relate to. However, the way that this ghost town that we have here is described and the way that it ties into the overall vibe of the book and the overall impression of this deep, dark situation that we're currently navigating through is really incredible. Like, there's this particular line, and by the way, I did not bring any annotating supplies with me, and I feel like every time that I read a book physically, if I'm really liking it and I'm really wanting to annotate it, I do. And I didn't bring anything with me, so I did the cardinal sin. I dog-eared some pages, and I just kind of got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm reading this book physically. Books are made to be like roughed around. I already like roughed up this little corner right here, so I just like felt like I could dog-ear it, and that's just a sign to me that I'm really liking this book. Anyways, let me really one specific, the 2 things that I have dog-eared. The first comment was how, again, very specific pieces of Collins I relate to, like not to her as an overall character. She and Brady, the main male character, were talking about nicknames for each other. He goes, Collins is a hard one for a nickname, and she goes, you're telling me there were 2 things I wanted as a kid, glasses and a nickname. Why a 7-year-old wanted to be visually impaired? Who knows? I remember so vividly going through that whole phase, probably when I was about 7, where a lot of kids were starting to like go to the eye doctor and like get glasses for the first time, and I was like, wait, they're so cool. What do you mean that having vision problems was the height of fashion? And it totally was. And I just remember being so jealous of people who got to wear glasses, and I remember very specifically I found a pair of non-prescription glasses at Claire's that I was like, oh my gosh, like this is everything I've ever wanted and more. Like, what do you mean I get to wear glasses? And I absolutely hated wearing those glasses because they were really hard to see through. But like also, I loved it. And I still to this day, I'm like, ooh, but like, I really wish I could wear glasses. Like, I feel like I would look so much better right now. Like if I had, I don't know why that's a thing, but the fact that she was talking about this glasses thing and the whole nickname thing, like I just really connected to that. And the fact that she was like, I tried to get the whole school to call me a nickname. It didn't really catch on. I just thought that was really relatable and really funny, and it was just a random thing where I was like, I feel like I'm really in alignment with this book right now. Anyways, going back to the kind of like deep dark ghost town thing, she talks about how trees in Sweetwater Peak are darker and like really heavy, and just like it feels like the clouds are just sticking to them, and how they're just different than anywhere else, and how they're just extra like depressy looking kind of. And so she told her dad that one time when she was a kid, to me it looked like they should collapse under the weight of the darkness. Dex told me, her dad, that darkness doesn't always have to be heavy, and then if it was, the trees were built to carry it. Life is hard. Life is very hard. Whether you are the tree or whether, I mean, I do think that there are things that our souls were not meant to carry. We are not made to bear certain very dark things in life. And I think there's just something that is really poetic about that. And the fact that that was the way that this town is described is just really intriguing. It's really speaking to me at the moment, and I'm having a really good time. This book, against the backdrop of Taos, New Mexico, and honestly northern New Mexico in general, kind of really cool. I think I absolutely picked this book up at the most perfect time. And now that I am home, I don't want to necessarily like hurry up and speed read this because I don't necessarily want it to be over, because I am having a really good time, but also I want to still have that like scenery and that backdrop fresh in my brain. So I'm gonna continue reading this, and hopefully I will finish it sooner rather than later, but ultimately I am thinking that this might be my favorite Lila Sage so far. Good morning, friends, and welcome to the quickest get ready with me you likely ever did see. It's officially Thursday morning, which means not only do I have a reading update for you guys that I finished Soul Searching Tuesday night, but also I start a new job today. So hello Finley. If my brain's a little scatterbrained over the next upcoming weeks, it's just because I am scatterbrained learning all of the things, which will be really good, but also yeah, that's all. Anyways, Soul Searching, I loved this book. Low key, I think I want to give it a 5-star. And the reason being, this book, I could see how some people see this as boring. Like there's a whole joke running in the beginning about how Brady, the main male character, is boring. And I think just because he needed some time to open up, and he starts to like, not necessarily get unboring, but he just, I don't know, you just start to like him more. And I think because this is just a very simple, sweet, these two characters, they're not anything crazy complicated. Their relationship is just really sweet and wholesome and easy. I think a lot of people could be bored by that, but there's something to be said for an easy relationship that is just simple. And I love it in books whenever characters come together into their relationships and they're just like, it's easy, and they're just obsessed with each other and they just want to be around each other 24/7. I love it. Anyways, Soul Searching, I really loved. Early Vacation, I really loved, and that was pretty much all for the week. So I'm gonna continue getting ready because I have to clock into work in like 2 minutes. However, thank you so much for watching this one. If you made it this far into the video, as I have literally one eyelash done, go ahead and leave a mountain emoji because I feel like that is the most appropriate emoji. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next one.